Many people are under the impression that the weapons in the open beta are the only weapons that the game will have, and based on the info that Embark has put out, that is just not true. If you've played the finals, please comment below what type of weapons you would like to see and what class you would like to see them on. Now, in Embark's podcast called Meet the Makers, they have said, absolutely our intent is to keep expanding that stuff when the question of adding a new weapon was asked. They had said multiple times how they intend to add more melee weapons, more guns, more gadgets, and more content in general. But for this specific video, we will talk about weapons. I'll be covering more content and speculation while we wait for Embark to give us the full game, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any content covering the finals. One thing the devs had stated multiple times throughout the podcast is they want to keep the game very sandboxy, give players freedom to be creative. They also said they want to add weapons. They don't want to just add a whole bunch of assault rifle variants, as that creates balancing issues and doesn't add to the variety they want to see. With this in mind, I'm curious to see what the developers intend to add. What does this mean for the future of the game? They also mentioned they are aware of power creep and don't intend to over-add stuff, and don't intend to just keep buffing the weak weapons, as this creates a new issue. So when adding weapons, adding 5 weapons that play exactly the same with slight differences doesn't seem to be in line with their development philosophy. They've also mentioned they did do early testing with both primary and secondary weapons, but found that using both weapons led to the game feeling not exactly what they wanted and more like a run and gun shooter, and took away from the focus using the environment, utility, and destruction in order to succeed. They found just one weapon made the gameplay the way they wanted it to be. I like that they're staying true to their own vision. So, for weapons, here are some of the suggestions for what could be added to the game. So for the light class, for the melee, I'd say a ninja star. A weapon that can be used both as a melee and as a ranged weapon. This probably is more range, but I think a hybrid could be a really fun weapon to have, and I think it would actually fit the game quite well, specifically on the light class. This would be a projectile travel, and it would have a bit of a drop to it as well. This might be hard to tweak and balance, I know. So for the left click, you would throw them slower, but much faster projectile speed and less drop. And you can hold right click to turn it into a full auto with lower velocity and more drop. Whenever you melee with this weapon, you do increase damage over the standard melee, and you can increase this damage if the target has already been hurt by a ninja star, creating a fun combo of getting in and out fast, poking, then bursting. And for the ranged, I'd say add a semi-auto sniper. I feel like the current bolt action is very hard to balance, and it's probably been a struggle for the dev team to find its place. I feel like a semi-auto sniper could be a little bit easier to balance, give it like a 4x scope, and then you can tweak the damage numbers a bit easier without worrying about the 1, 2 shot, 3 shot range for body versus headshot. This would sit somewhere between the current sniper and the current semi-auto rifle. For the medium, on the range side, we have the burst rifle. I would love to see a burst rifle, as I think it is a perfect fit for this game. I think it would be perfect for the medium class as well. Not much needs to be said here. Give it a red dot and an M16 aesthetic, and it could hit that COD 4 nostalgic button that I'm sure many of you guys have. Melee, I would like to see a hook. I think it'd be kind of cool if we had something like Roadhog or Thresh, a weapon where you can right click to pull targets toward you, followed up by some powerful left click melee attacks. One thing that this class lacks is crowd control. This could tie into the support role this class is already good at doing. For the heavy, for the ranged weapon, I'd say we could add a charge rifle. So this would be something that charges up pretty fast, not like a really slow charging thing, and it can penetrate walls and create holes, allowing you to create these small holes in order to look at players on the other side of the wall, be able to contest cash outs, to defend cash outs, almost like that Rainbow Six Siege kind of gameplay. This would give tons of different opportunities. It could open up rotation for like creating holes by continuously charge rifling and making like a little hole. I think this could add to how much chaos is in the game already, and I think if it penetrates and does damage to players on the other side of a wall, if it only penetrates one wall, this could actually help during a lot of the chaos. When there's a bunch of walls falling all over the place, if there's like a ceiling that's falling over the cash out, you know someone's stealing it under, being able to penetrate and do a little bit of damage could help stop them from stealing it. As long as this doesn't become overpowered and penetrate too many things, I think it could have that utility that would still suit the game really well, and I think it would suit heavy quite well. I think this could become overpowered if it's over tweaked, but I think there's probably a nice balancing place where you could fit this into a lot of new strategies, and I think that's exactly what this game needs. For the melee, I think force gloves would be a cool thing. Just good old-fashioned fisting. Being able to punch contestants would already satisfy so many people, and then if you give it a pushback effect, then you've got something unique. Being able to shove people off maps, knock them off of cash outs, push them out of windows and off of buildings. I think this could be so much fun. I think there could be tons of cool combos you could do with traps, being able to push them into a room with a bunch of traps, close the door, goo gun it really quickly and trap them in there. I am already seeing the content that could be created with this. So to end the video, what weapons would you like to see added? And be sure to subscribe and check out any of my other finals content, and stay tuned for more to come. Thank you.
The Vogues are in trouble. Can their last member keep them from wiping?
Ow! That was not the best. Oh no! No! It hit me too! I couldn't do anything about it! I was sliding on the freaking tilting thing and it just...
The Vogues are showing us that stealing is
It's bouncing back and forth off the fucking pad!